The good news of Jesus Christ is that he can meet every one of the deepest needs in your life. Romans 1:16. Paul said, I'm not ashamed of the gospel, for it's the power of God unto salvation to everyone who believes, to the Jew first and then to the Greek. So we're going to talk today about Jesus meeting our need for purpose. It's hard to go through life without a driving, all-consuming, positive, healthy purpose. He wants you to have that. A friend of mine wrote this. He said, have you ever heard of a dog with ulcers? He said, no, you've never heard of a dog with ulcers because dogs don't get ulcers. Dogs don't get ulcers because they don't try to do anything but being dogs. Or he said, have you ever heard of a tree crying? There is a weeping willow. But anyway, he said, trees don't try to do anything but be trees. He said, have you ever heard of fish flying? There are a few exceptions to that. Most of the time, fish don't fly. Birds don't swim. All of creation literally glorifies, brings attention to God by simply being who they've been created to be, except mankind, men and women. And so I think it's very important for us to understand for a few moments here today that you glorify God, bring attention to God by, first of all, loving him. And if you love him, then you will want to do what he wants you to do. I will want to do what he wants me to do. So how do I know what it is he wants me to do? Well, here's one way to come at it. The things that break the heart of God ought to break our heart. And so what breaks the heart of God? Well, let me give you a few things. Number one, people who don't have a relationship with Jesus Christ. That breaks his heart. And so why did Jesus, when he called his disciples way back then and even today, why did he say, come follow me and I'll make you fishers of men? We ought to be bringing people to Christ, at least presenting who he is and what he's done to them so they'll have a shot at it. Secondly, it breaks his heart when followers of Jesus never grow up and mature. Jesus said, go therefore in all the world and make disciples. That means raise them up, build a foundation of faith in their life, and help them mature so they can help others do the same thing. What breaks the heart of Jesus? People who don't love one another. When he sees relationships that aren't right, whether it's in a family, between friends, whatever the level is, it breaks his heart. Divorce, turmoil in the family, that breaks his heart. When people are hungry either for food or the basics of life, or hungry for meaning and purpose in life, it breaks his heart. It breaks his heart for the brokenhearted, for people that have gone through difficulties in life and they're just brokenhearted. And when people are distressed and down, discouraged, it breaks his heart. So the question is, what are you doing about glorifying God by being involved in the things that break his heart? Someone has said this, I must surrender my fascination with myself to a more worthy preoccupation with the character and the purposes of God. I am not the point. He is. I exist for him. He does not exist for me. How could you and I start living in such a way that I understand it's not all about me? I'm not living for me. I'm living for him. Let me tell you how you do that. You get busy caring about the things that break the heart of God. You think about that and then get moving.